Hi, Elizabeth. I thought I would put you together a real quick little mounting instruction manual for the wall seed pod. When you get it, it won't be quite like this, but by the time you take it apart, that's what it'll look like. I taped the drawers, and just so you know, in case you ever get confused, if you open them up and on the back, there's a little stamp like that says bottom. So, and that one will say middle and that one will say top, so that you always know where they go. The leaves, I've got these labeled so that as you take them off, there's an order they have to go in. And so I've labeled this one goes on first. So he goes on first, have the carved groove sides, like the face of the leaf out, the tape out basically, and they'll stack up. And you can, I think they kind of lay like this. You can play with them a little bit when you get the piece up on the wall. You also have, there's a hex key right on the top here of this aluminum that you can loosen to, when you're playing with them, if you find that this isn't a good spot, you can slide this a little bit and use the hex key to tighten it. I am going to ship it with this top bit off, and there's a hex key that takes that off, and when you put it back on, the hex key goes to the very back of the cabinet. And if you needed to, for any reason, this is not glued on, the tulip, you can just pop him off. Now for mounting, you can see it's got a pair of little slide mounts so that the screw, it'll go over the screw and then the piece will drop down on the wall and be secure. And so I made a little tiny jig that has the two places. You can just use a little tiny drill bit or a thin pencil and make marks on the wall for these two holes, which will correspond with where these need to be. And the screw head will need to stick out as thick as this board is, right here. See, that way there's enough slop or room for this to, you can see it needs about that much to slide over it. So using this as a gauge against the wall, the screw head will stick out from the wall, the thickness of this board. And if it's a little sloppy, you just slide this up and off and just tighten the screw head just a hair. Or if it seems too tight, just, back it out a tiny bit. Now, I don't know if you're going into a solid wood wall, in which case you would just use these two marks and drill a hole and put the two screws in the right place. If you're going into, the best thing if you're going into sheetrock would be to find a stud, and then you can just drill in, and you might need a little tiny bit longer screw, but I bet that'll do it. And just get a little bit of wood so that it's anchored in the stud. If it's just in an open space in the sheetrock where there is no stud, I've included a couple of wall anchors. And I think you just drill a 1/4-inch hole with these and you screw them in, and the screw goes in there. And I don't know if these quite need a 1/4-inch hole. These might need an 1/8-inch hole, I'm not sure. And that screw goes in there. It doesn't weigh that much, but you want to be sure it's in securely. I think that's it. If there's anything, any other questions you have, feel free. I think I sent you an email with my phone number on it while we weren't sure what was going on with why it said the rocking pod. But, and I'll include the hex key. So thanks so much for buying my work. I love making it, and it's rewarding when someone buys it. Thanks again, Elizabeth, and good luck. Let me know if you have any problems. Bye-bye.